might have just came up with a new tune.
What's up, bass heads? It ain't rocket science, it's pocket science. We're gonna get started real soon talking about this MXR Bass Synth pedal. Demystify this thing for you so that you can make some use out of it. If you don't have one, this might help you decide whether or not you even need to have one. Alright, so, you know, I'm gonna give you the real. I'm gonna give you the real. If you have questions, get those loaded up, because I'm gonna take some time towards the end. Let me know where you're watching from, and if you have questions, type a Q in front so that I know that it's a question. I got a couple of moderators that are in the house that'll help me keep track of those questions. But get those questions ready, get them likes up, let me know where you're watching from. Bass heads, what's good? It ain't rocket science, it's pocket science. Today we're going to demystify this doggone pedal. We're going to do it today. If we haven't met yet, my name is Ted and I talk bass. Welcome to my home. Gosh darn it. Get them likes up. Get your questions ready. We're going to talk about the pedal. Just before we do, some housekeeping here. This stream is brought to you by Bass Note Master. You can check that out. Sorry, I am just getting over like the flu or something like that. Memphis in the house, home of the Cozy Corner, some of the best ribs down in there, down in Memphis. So let's get into it. First things first, let me give you the overhead view. I know it's just a little, it might be a little ghetto fabulous, but this is my pedal board. And I did not take this off of the board because I want you to see what I rock with every time I go out on a gig, what I rock with, okay? Tuner, the synth pedal, a compressor, an octave, and an envelope filter. I play funk and R&B music most of the time. So this is a very, very practical setup, all right? But it's better for me to show you as it is in the real world instead of taking it apart and just showing you the pedal, because you get the real here. All right. So I have reset the pedal and these are the factory settings. Let me know if you can hear me okay and if you can see everything okay. It looks like all systems are go, so we should be good to go. All right. So this is a factory reset pedal right now. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, one of the things that gets folks is that these knobs, listen, I'm going to say something and it's going to sound a little weird. This is not a tweaker's pedal. And I don't mean, I'm not calling you a tweaker. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that what you see is not necessarily what you get. All right. It's not like this where I can kind of eyeball the knobs and kind of get an idea of what the sound is going to be like. All right. Let me say this as practically and as plainly as possible. When you get this thing, this is not, in my experience, I'm going to stop talking in a second. Okay, I'm going to stop talking in a second. I'm going to show you some more stuff in a second, but I need to say this. This is not a replacement for a keyboard. I'm not a pedal guy. I'm not a pedal guy like Ian and Will and Yannick and Juan. Those guys go super, super deep on pedals, and that's cool. This is, it's like this thing gets kicked on maybe 2 or 3 times an evening. Okay, so I don't need every sound in here, but just understand, if you know what these knobs do, which you will by the end of the stream, when you know what these knobs do, you're going to be able to get more use out of this pedal. Let's talk about the presets first. All right, there are 2 sets of presets. There are green presets and red presets. Okay, well, what does that mean? See, some of y'all, you remember when you got those keyboards back in the 90s? When you got the Alesis Q6 and the Q7? And you had like 1,000 sounds on them, but you only used 2? Same thing. Okay? So the sounds that we have, I like to think about it like this. The green ones are your funk and R&B. Okay, you got your thriller, your thriller sound. You got the Stevie sound. You got your but listen, there's only so much chameleon you're gonna play. All right, but those are gonna be your and then of course so there are the 4 I call them the funk and R&B sounds. All right, but Pete, when you learn what these knobs do, you can start modifying them to taste. All right. Remember, I said these knobs do not, what you see is not what you get. So the next set of presets, I'm going to call those the pop and rock sounds, pop, rock, dance sounds. Okay. Like you got this first one, that's your Tony Levin kind of sledgehammer sound, which you could also get something passable with an octave pedal. Just because that blue light, that's the mid switch. The octave is not on, just so you know. Why is my compressor on? I'm gonna talk about that in a second. Then you've got this Bjork. I don't know nothing about Bjork. Okay? But this is a right? You got that. You got a 9-inch nail sound. I don't know much about them either. I figure some rocky stuff. Not my. And then this definitely ain't my flavor. I mean, I'm sure it has its place, but so that's not. So somebody's gonna like, and invariably somebody will say like I crapped on the pedal right there. I didn't. I'm just saying that's not my flavor. Okay. You got the green presets, funk, R&B land. That's the way I like to think of them. Red presets, rock, pop, dance land. That's the way I think of them. Now, when you click over here, now you're in live mode. Okay? One thing about this pedal, and this is why I have the compressor on, this joint is loud. It's loud. If you just going on a gig and you just like kicking in the pedal and you haven't done something, like practiced with it, it'll surprise you. And it might not be a pleasant surprise, okay? It might be quite shocking. It's loud. Already, I can tell you that so that's a raw sound. It's a loud pedal. Watch this. Woo! It's a loud pedal. So you have to, with any piece of technology, with any piece of technology, you need to practice with that in the band setting or whatever. So again, if you're on a gig and you're playing your R&B funk tunes, green presets, tweak to taste, right? If you're in a project, a cover band where you need to make specialty sounds, we're going to get into that in a second. I have not, a question about the expression pedal. I have not used the expression pedal a lot. So when you get into the expression pedals and all those different things, I believe that's a level I ain't on. That's a level that I'm not on. Okay. So, cause I don't need that, right? I don't need that for what I'm doing. Okay. Let's go through each knobs. We're going to talk about the top layer first. You type a 1 in the chat if you have heard that this pedal has different layers. If you've heard that this pedal has different layers, we got 80 people here, 80 people and only 23 likes. I'm giving away free game and I got 23 likes of 80 people. Let's tighten that up, fam. Tighten that up. You getting free game here. All right. So there are 2 different layers, but you got to know the top layer first before you go to digging in to the bottom layer. Also, while I'm here, let's talk about tracking. Man, one of the big problems, one of the big rumblings about this pedal was, it don't track. It don't track. It got latency. Oh, Lord Jesus, I can't do what I want to do because the pedal don't act like a keyboard. Well, listen, you can take this however you want. And I say it with love, but we cannot expect a stringed instrument to behave like a keyboard instrument. The sound is not produced the same way. Okay, so let me give you an example. You may need to change how you play some things. Now, what am I playing right now? Right now, I'm playing my Marco TFL. It's got a 3-band EQ. It's active electronics. I'm playing that at a higher register, right? I'm playing, kind of hard, but not incredibly hard. Now, if I played that, that's going to sound, it's going to do different things, right? So I when I introduce this technology, I've got to also maybe adjust how I play some things. But as far as that's a low C. that held out a long time before it started tripping. But then I would ask you, what are you playing that you need to hold that note out that low for that long? You know what I'm saying? So we need to be realistic about that, okay? Type a 1 in the chat if you're still with me and you understand what I'm saying. All right. So now we're going to go through each knob. But first, we're going to talk about how sound is produced in a synthesizer. Sound comes from oscillators. All right. Now, technically, this is I'm going to call it a 2 oscillator system, but let's say that this shape knob is oscillator number 1. All right. Oscillator just means that's where the sound is coming from. And the shape of the sound, right? The shape of the sound is going to be different. All right. So, for instance, when we're on green, this is a triangle wave. The triangle has got a little bit of hair on it, but it is rounder and tubbier. Right? You can find your own vocabulary. Then when we go to the sawtooth wave, this is sort of the bass wave for the bass. When I say bass wave, I mean like the bass level wave for like dance tunes. It's raw. It's, as the name suggests. And then we have the square wave. Everything is at 12 o'clock, right? Again, you know what? I don't let the compressor fool you. If you're late to the chat, I have the compressor on because it's motherfucking loud. You know what I mean? Okay, but type a 1 in the chat if you understand what I just said. I need to check for understanding and make sure that you guys understand those wave shapes. You got a triangle wave, a sawtooth wave, and a square wave. The triangle wave, little round, little pillowy, got a little edge on it. There's the sawtooth wave, a little bit edgier. Then the square wave, a little edgier still. Salute. All right, cool. So you guys understand that. Now we're going to look at the filter section. The filter section, as the name suggests, filters the sound. It changes the sound. All right? It's like having what was the quote? Somebody know the quote, like Michelangelo about the David statue or something, like, you know, just chiseling parts away. That's really what you're doing with these knobs here. All right? So let's go one by one. Okay? So over here, what's this knob right here? The mix knob? What do you think the mix knob does? As the name suggests, just like it says on the box, it will mix your dry sound with the synth sound. If I turn it all the way over here, right? I got just the synth. If I want to get if I want to get some more of the natural sound of the bass. But I can tell you right now, in a live situation, like you're just going for it, it ain't gonna matter that much. It hasn't in my experience. I can only speak from my experience. It mixes how much effect you want, right? Then here, listen at that bottom end leave. Now what? Now check this out. Watch this. I just modified a. Did I modify a preset? Watch what happens when I go away from that. The knobs, what you see is not what you get. So I lost that sound. Okay, so now here we are at a raw sound again. There's the raw sawtooth wave. When it's orange is a sawtooth. Red is a square. So this is actually a better place to show you. So here's our triangle. Let me just turn because I don't want you to think that the compressor is coloring anything. I have to put the compressor. This pedal got some hair on it. It's got some hair on it. So here's where we're in like programming land. And I don't know if you really want to do, like, if you want to do that, cool, right? But I think this tweaking right here is what you do when you're in either an original project or if you're in a cover project or something like that and you're dialing in the perfect sound. You're programming that sound. You're going to save that sound and you're going to make sure that that's your forever sound, right? Or your for the moment sound. Some of y'all's relationships. I don't mean to get in your business, but you know what I'm talking about. So, might be talking about me, shit. Stay out of my business. Okay. Can you use compression from the synth pedal? I do not. I don't touch that. And that in my experience, and I can only go as deep as that's a great question. That's a great question. The answer is maybe, but I haven't experimented with that. Ken is asking about using the compression from the synth pedal instead. I have not gone there. Maybe we'll go there tonight. Maybe we'll go there tonight. How about that? That's a good question. Mods, if you can do me a favor, if you could take the questions that come in and maybe copy and paste them into a document and then, or let me star them. Let me see if I can star them. I know Wayne had a question that I want to come back to about losing high end. I think losing your highs. Check your mix knob. And then also, you know what? Let me stay on task here. That's where your cutoff and your resonance are. So let's talk about what the heck. You have to overwrite the factory sounds to save your own sounds. No, you do not. No, you do not. Okay. It's a great question. So you got your green presets and your red presets. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, Wayne. You are correct. You are correct. I don't have any sound saved in here Because when I'm on a live thing, I'm going to go, again, these green ones are going to be my presets, and then I'm going to tweak to taste. But I'm not going to be tweaking on the bandstand. That sounds weird. Anyway, so cutoff. Here we go. What is cutoff? What is this? What is cutoff? It is as the name suggests. If I cut that, if I take that all the way to the left, I have actually cut off the frequency. If I open it all the way up, I'm going to get more of that sound. Let me kill the compression. That's not fair. I'm going to kill the compression and turn my I need to be completely fair to the pedal. Let's go to the other sound and cut off. Just by changing that cutoff, what about resonance? Look at what you hear, that squawk. Now I'm extreme with that. That is not a pleasing sound to me. Right? But I'm going by that bass sound, either a triangle, a square, or a sawtooth. Let's go to a square wave. That mod wheel is going to add some movement in there. 97% of you guys are not fooling with this like that. You're not doing it. This right here, it seems kind of cool to me to just like look at my, because it's like the Addams Family when I'm looking at myself. Anyway. How we doing? Let me know in the chat how we're doing. If you guys are good. So I don't think you're gonna fool with all that. There's your sounds. Now, this thing also has an additional oscillator by way of the voice knob. Now watch what that does. Okay, here's the raw sound. Did you hear it? It put some extra, as the name suggests, an extra layer of sound on this. So you can think about that as a different, an additional oscillator. Okay. You can mix that. You can mix that in the secondary layers. Let's go back to the presets. Remember I said that the presets, where I'm going to live is in this world, right? Me personally, you may be different. I personally do not find the need to save a bunch of presets. My life just ain't set up like that, right? Now, if you take somebody like Will Brickhead, I don't know why I keep calling Will Brickhead. His name is Burkhead. He's been one of the ambassadors of this pedal. Just did a residency with J-Lo. He's got 2 of them, and I know Pig Funk has got one as well. But understand, those guys are spending a lot of time, tweaking and programming those things, right? This pedal. And that's cool. You and I that are going to go and do, the gigs around town or the weekend gig, you're going to put on this pedal maybe 2 or 3 times a night. You're not playing with this all night like that. Okay? You're not playing with this all night. I don't know what that was. All right? So there's a reason why there's these 4 really iconic styles of synth, right? Let's go here. Now, what you are also hearing the natural sound of my bass. Now, if I, my strings from the mic, but also the mix knob, right? Like, let's say if I go. You notice my touch. My touch has to change, and that would be depending on what bass I may have to touch it a little bit differently. Boy, my 7th grade sense of humor is about to say something I shouldn't say, and I'm gonna keep it PG, but right? What do I need to do with my touch? I cannot expect for this to behave in the same way that a synth does, because the sound is produced differently from my strings going through pickups and all that. I don't, I caught a little bit of heat one time, not a ton of heat, saying that shit. Oh God, I gotta watch my mouth. I have not used the dark glass. Synth. Okay. Now, if I'm here and I like this sound, that sound doesn't have to just be used for Isn't She Lovely? What about if I take that sound and I want to cut out some of those frequencies? What do I just do? Nah, I'm not saying it. Oh, so when I started turning the knob, it started somewhere else. So turn that cut off. Okay, this is a good comment here. So Ian has said that you can save your own programs without wiping the presets. That's possible. I haven't saved any presets. Me personally, I ain't saved no presets because I haven't had the need to. Because if I live in, listen, let me say this with my chest and say it to your face. I am a very, very practical kind of a person when it comes to gear. I don't bring anything to the gig that I don't need to bring to the gig. I don't get shit just to, ooh, it's hot. I need to have that. Those days are done for me. You see that 410 cabinet right there? That cabinet is the voice of God. That's also 100 pounds. And when COVID hit and I brought that thing in the house and sat it right there, it's been there ever since. But I got them 12s in the car. There ain't no need for me to bring this out of the house, and I can't sell it. But it's, you know what I'm saying? This pedal, I ain't gonna use but 2 sounds. I ain't gonna use but 2 sounds in it. Right? Maybe 3. For what I do. I think 4. Let's see. You can save, okay, so you can save 8 presets. And again, I think it boils down to your use case, right? Your use case. So I promised I would go to the secondary layers. So let's do that, because I don't want to shortchange anybody. All right, and I don't want to go long. But the top layers, what I think you need to understand, the mod, the way that I like to think about it is going to add some movement. You got your envelope. That's going to affect your attack. Listen to that. It's not doing anything, right? Open it up. Filters, just like a coffee filter, they are going to filter out different characteristics of the sound. All right. Now, let's put these joints at 12 o'clock again. If I hold the voice knob, if I'm just holding, y'all listen to me good now. You are not about to do this on the gig. You are not going to do this on the gig. Let me say it one more time, and you say it wherever you are. Wayne, I'm talking to you. You are not going to do this on the gig. This is very unfriendly. And I don't think it needs to be. When I hold down the voice, the voice button, and let's say I turn one of these knobs, it's going to do different things. I got to find my notes here. Because I don't want to steer you wrong. Hang on one second. I don't want to steer you wrong. I don't want to steer you wrong. Here we go. So, if I hold down the voice knob, and turn the mix button, that is going to set the mix between the main oscillators and the oscillators that are added when the voice button is engaged. What in the does that mean? Well, you see this voice button? Okay, so NorCal is saying controlling the envelope with an expression pedal is dope. If you are a pedal person and you want to spend the extra money for an expression pedal and like pedals are your bag, go for it. You see this right here? This is what this man brings on a gig. This right here. This, a tuner, synth. A synth that really is kind of a novelty, if I'm going to be honest with you, for my life. Can I adjust the lighting? How's that? So, you can definitely do all of that stuff, but most people don't live there. All right, so this voice knob, holding on the voice knob, there's that extra oscillator. Let's go back over here. So we turned on the extra oscillator with the voice knob. Now, if I hold this and I go, and now you can, I turned it all the way off. I barely hear a difference. Now, will that be evident in another sound? And maybe I'm doing it wrong. There I can hear it a little bit more. But do you understand what I'm saying? That is, unless you are like really deep into programming, you ain't touching this. All right? I mean, you might. But that's what that does. I hold that down. I can hear it changing. But you see how kind of a circus act it is to do. Can you hear there's the sort of high sound? And I just turned it all the way off. All right? So the same voice knob, if I hold on to this, now what I'm doing right now is I'm setting, the way I understand it, I am setting global parameters of the pedal, not just this one sound. So if I, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. So if I hold this down, this sets the noise mix. Listen, NorCal 676, I had the ELH mini synth set so to one sound I understand. I'm not bending down, turning knobs. Bingo. 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 And this is when I talk about the blue collar bass player, I'm not bending down, touching no knobs neither. I'm not doing it. And I think that a lot of people, when I go through the bass forum sometimes, I'm like, y'all are tripping. Y'all are expecting this thing to do. Oh God, every time I want to touch it, I just say, Ted, don't say that. Don't say that. I'm not going to say it, but God damn it, I'm thinking it. It's not a synthesizer. And you don't have to understand a ton about synthesis either in order to make it go. I think you have to understand what it is that you are playing. Green presets, R&B, funk. Gonna get you. What name a song that's got that you would play? You can't. Excellent. Yes. You can't treat it like a regular pedal. And when I say regular, and I think what excellent means by regular is this stuff over here. If I wanted to have less squawk, I just turn. I can look at it. I can eyeball it and see exactly what I need to change. Right? Here. I'm going to start with a sound. I say if I want to open that up, Wayne, you talk about your highs being gone, you may need to open up the cutoff. Not that much. But, I should say this. Let me go back to this sound here. So if you are, let's say you're on, let's say you're on that sound right there. You see where that knob is, that frequency knob? If I turn this, watch what happens. It's real abrupt, right? Again, knowing you want to do this at home, right? But it ain't what it's not like other pedals, just like Wayne says. It's a great pedal. You say you start losing highs, Wayne? Open that cutoff. If you get nothing else out of this tonight, you need to practice with this pedal. By the way, I've got a synth-based cookbook that is linked in the comments and is linked in the description of this video. It goes way more in depth. I also have a ton of videos that are, when you purchase the cookbook, you get the list of videos going through each setting of this thing. All right. I know that some people are new here, but I ask 2 questions all the time. What kind of music do you want to play, and who do you want to play it with? If you are a blue-collar bass player, you're playing weddings, this is what I would do. I'm about to give you all the game. If you are playing weddings and corporate events, and you have no interest in learning synth, or you don't own a synth, or you have no interest in bringing an additional synth rig with you to the gig, what I would do is go down your set list. At home, I would dial in the sounds and save. And what you're going to find is you're probably going to use 2 or 3 sounds out of this one pedal all night. Ken, happy to have you here, and I'm glad that it's helpful. Thank you so much. Do you understand what I'm saying? It isn't super friendly as far as, eyeballing it, It isn't super friendly. It just isn't. That's not an insult to anybody. It's not an insult. If you look at all of my pedals on my board, everything I got is MXR. It's certainly not an insult to MXR. You just have to know if I'm building a table and I need a hammer and a screwdriver, I know I need a hammer and a screwdriver and not a butter knife and a fork. That's a good analogy. So I'm going to go for the right tool for the job. You're only going to use a couple of sounds out of here. I'll give you another example. NorCal says, Bootsy Collins had a dude changing his synth sounds. I mean, there you go. Listen, we play this one band that I've been playing with lately. We've been playing that song Killing in the Name. But the band leader, he plays this Iwi thing, and he, where I'm trying to cover, like kind of on the fly, I'm like, I want to do the. That song right there has got womp womp. It's got too much of an envelope on it. All that shit is covered in those first 4 sounds. On my actual Novation bass station synth, that thing's got room for 100 presets. I use 4. 4. And the times that I play it, truth be told, I can tweak the knobs on the fly if I need to cut through a little bit more or something like that. So anyway, let's go back to, the more I think about it, I'm like, for the average user, these sub layers ain't even really that serious, right? For the average user. Let's go back to this holding down the voice knob. If I hold down the voice knob and turn the cutoff, that's going to change the filter envelope amount. All right, so that's the direction up or down, and the width of the filter envelope. So you gotta really listen. This is a tweaker's pedal, man. Do you hear it? Voice cut off. I'm literally holding that with one finger and turning it with my thumb. The reason why I'm shying away from doing so much there is because the average person, you're going to have to get in there and tweak that to your own liking based on the type of music that you play and the working environment. The sublayer for the tracking, I'm going to be honest with you, that has not made a difference to me. That has not made a difference whatsoever to me. Not even a little bit. I have had 0 issue with tracking on this thing. Now, if you want to get to the tracking, right, the global tracking preset, you're going to hold the shape button and turn the resonance knob, all right, all the way to counterclockwise, tracks all the way down to a low B. Again, how often are you gonna do that? Probably not never. Probably not never. You know what I mean? That's like making sure you have the parachute button in your car, because you're never going to use that. And so I think that a lot of the stuff that a lot of times I saw some complaints in the bass forums and stuff. I'm like, you're complaining about shit you're never ever going to use or never ever going to do. You got cats wanting to, I don't know. I just don't get it. I'm like, man, what did you expect the thing to do? Guy was like, this thing's a piece of shit. I couldn't play 16th notes on it. I'm like, okay, well, what, And I be wanting to say, what song or what group of songs are you playing that requires you to do the thing that you feel like you can't do that you're complaining about? Does that make sense what I'm saying? What group of songs, right? Anyway, let's see. NorCal says, I researched the pedal like you have. Excellent. I got a mono synth and a Moog expression pedal for a couple of songs. Yeah, I mean, I know you guys were having a side conversation, but I think what Wayne is saying, fantasy is reality, big possibility. You got to dial in. I think that this is a perfectly fine pedal, right? I would love to try the anagram. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge to my people. Because I think that's got it's a friendlier, more visual interface. But it's also a bigger price point. How much is that anagram? How much is that anagram pedal? Let's see. That anagram pedal is $1,100. It's $1,100. $1,100. So unless you are, and again, I'm not shitting on Dark Glass. Those are my people. Can I tell y'all just two stupid things that I've done in my life? I'm going to tell you two stupid things I did in my life. Once upon a time, a guy tried to pay me for a gig in Bitcoin, and I didn't do it. I said, motherfucker, give me my money. Give me my money. I wish I would have took the Bitcoin. Number two is my man from Dark Glass back in the day, who he don't work there anymore, wanted me to do a video for Dark Glass, and I was not in a position to do it, and I gave it to someone else, and the payment for that video was a Dingwall bass. Boy, I done did some stupid shit. Anyway, so, bruh, this is the comment right here. You can't expect this pedal to be the same as a bass keyboard. It's not made up to be. It's not. It's not. I'm talking about for the average, everyday blue collar bass player who is not spending a lot of time programming pedals. This is a programmer pedal, not a tweaker pedal. I don't mean that you're a tweaker. I'm just saying you have to either be willing to spend some time with it and practice with it, or find you the 2 or 3 little presets that you like and understand that those are the basis for all. Do you know? Okay, what am I talking about? What am I talking about? Somebody name for me, what is the signature drum sound of the 80s? I'm going to wait. What is the signature drum sound of the 80s? I'm going to just wait. Yeah, the Dark Glass brand new is $1,100. And I would love to have one. I ain't going to pay $1,100 for it. Because for $1,100, it had to replace everything I have here. Everything. It would have to, all that shit would have to go. And maybe that's why it is. Okay, I got 808, Lindrum, right? That's the sound of the 80s. Now, Prince did his own shit with that. Oh, man, I was at Paisley Park, and I ain't gonna lie. I cried in the studio with the Lindrum. I cried. It was my birthday. People sung happy birthday to me in Prince's studio. I fucking cried. I did. But his drum machine is there with all the Boss pedals and stuff. So he was tweaking. But that drum machine was the bass sound, the basic sound of a whole decade. With little tweaks here and there. So you get this pedal. Though, like I said before, if you in funk and R&B land, use the green presets. If you're doing rock, pop, dance stuff, use the red presets. And tweak to taste. Those secondary layers are cool if you really gotta dial something in. I mean, if you really gotta dial, go deep and dial some shit in, that's where you go. Let me reset this joint. So yeah, let me show you. So y'all know how to reset it? I'm gonna hold down these two, the voice and the shape knob, and power it up. And now we're back to the factory joints. We're back to the factory joints. Now watch this. Somebody asked me earlier if I used the compression on the pedal. I have not, but let's try that. Because that would be a practical application. That would be a practical application for me. Right? I'm looking for the practical shits. Wayne, when I powered it on, I was holding the voice and the shape knobs. So watch this. It's kind of loud. Let's see if I can get... Where's the compression at on this joint? Oh, man. This whatever I caught, there's some respiratory thing going around New Orleans, and I got it. Okay, so if I hold down the shape knob, holding down the shape knob and turning the mix knob is the compression. I think I changed the mix. There's an example right there. So I got the mix all the way over that way. Let's change that compression. Is it doing anything? Oh, you know what? I'm doing something. Hold on. Let me go back over here. You know what? I might play around with that a little bit more, but I think still, you gotta spend time with it on your own. You know? The bass synthesizer and the bass compression working together. Wait, hold on a second. What is the advantage of having both the compressor on the bass and the bass compressor? You know what? I have not done. Somebody asked earlier about the thing. I don't know. I'm gonna try to play around with the compressor on the pedal. I had not done that before. Okay, you see that? Okay, so hold that down. Woo! So I turned the compressor off just now. Let me turn it. Let me increase the limit on there. Watch this. Yo, where'd he go? Is he still here? Sorry, that was disgusting. Look, I'm sick. Gosh, who was it? Was it Ken? Who asked the question earlier? Was it Ken? Where is he? Yeah, it was Ken Bar 7235. I tell you what. I'm gonna funk with that. I am gonna funk with that. I said funk. Woo. Yeah, I'm gonna mess with that. Let's see. Yo, Ken for the win. Somebody find Ken. We each one teach one. We in here. Ken, that's the move. That's the move. So here's an example of a couple of things. Number one, the bass heads community here at TED Talks Bass. Number two, each one teach one. Number three, practicality. Ken said one thing and it changed the game. Now, if I find a need to go to another knob to do something else, I'm like, I'll go there if I have to, right? So I'm going to change this by holding the shape knob. That's a difference. Now, what I do not know, and I'm not sure of, this is important. I'm not 100% sure of this. If that's saved or not. Let's see. I just turned the compression all the way off. Now I'm going to turn it 12 o'clock. Instantly recognize zap, right? Now that's the first preset. I thought I was showing y'all the knob. That's the first preset. Now I'm going to move away from it. I do not believe that it's saved. So I think that you have to save that. Let me get back to y'all on that. But there is a Ken, I love you. Something very practical. But also because just hear me out here. Because if this is my pedal board and I know this board, this is my board that's been my board for a long time, right? Because instead of me, it is easier for me to do this than it is for me to do this in a real live situation, right? That makes sense? That is not a knock on the pedal. K-Funk Conspiracy Beats. Yes, that is what sound did I would use. I don't understand that sentence at all. Help me out, bro. Let's see. So Wayne is saying we need a class in the compressor and the envelope. I actually have a very detailed video on compression that's on the channel. If you let me show you, and one for the envelope filter as well. K-Funk is saying, I hear in the morning. Let's see. If you look on, if you type in compressor pedal, yeah, my video, how does a compressor work? I'm like number 4 down or something like that. And then there's also one for the envelope as well. Do I ever use the phaser pedal? Sometimes. And I'm going to tell you, I should use it more often. I would never ever part with this pedal because I have a very unique phaser pedal. I got the Phase 90, and my buddy Matt Deptula, you know how these guys there's no like battery indicator. This guy's got this plexiglass here, and it glows orange based on the phase. Yeah. I don't use the thump pedal anymore. Because I don't really play a passive bass most of the time. I'm looking at the thump pedal right there. My pedals are I got like really practical stuff. I don't carry anything. Man, maybe this is like a sign of age as well. I don't carry nothing that I don't have to. Not people or pedals. I don't carry nothing that I don't have to. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? And in my world, And in my world, I can only speak for the work and the playing that I do. Nobody gives a shit. Like they don't really give a shit. They give a shit that you play the parts. I'm talking about my world. My world. You know, when I'm learning a tune, you guys saw I went live the other day and I told you that I was going to learn everybody wants to rule the world. And I told you in that live stream, I was like, he's not going to do all these different changes. He didn't even do the tune. And that was the night I got sick too. He didn't even do the tune. He didn't even do the tune. But if I were learning that and I talked to Nigel Hall today, and he just told me, I don't even know if I could talk about the gig he's going to do, but I'm hella jealous. I'll just say he's going to Amsterdam to do the gig, and I'm jealous. Anyway, that's a different kind of learning. If I were going to go somewhere and use this pedal for an artist, I would be going deep on the programming. And truth be told, I'd be using a synth. I'd be using an actual synth. That's me. That's not a knock on the pedal. I need to make that very, very clear. But somebody else said it in the chat. It's like you can't expect. Listen. And this again, I'm not like a pedal guy. Right? You know, Ian, Will, Yannick, Juan, Savage Fridays. Those are pedal people. Me? Look at this pedal board. Tuner. Let me say, need. Kind of need. Wait, need. Nice to have. Very nice to have. Novel, but nice to have. Nice to have, still kind of novel. You know what I mean? And so when it comes down to the gear that you buy, and I'm going to leave you guys with this. When it comes to the gear that you buy, you have to, don't buy it because everybody's talking about it. Don't buy it because it's hot. You got to look at that and say, when will I ever use that? When will I ever truly use that? There's a company that sent me something. I'm going to start using it a little bit, but I really wanted to send it back because I was like, I don't know when I would ever use this. And so I can't, like, in good conscience, I can't, like, really make video content around this because I don't know when I would ever truly use that. I'm going to start using it, but I wanted to send it because I offered to send it back and they, kind of didn't get back at me. I was like, well, shit, I'll keep it. But so you gotta ask yourself what you're going to use. Like, are you really going to use that? And then find very practical uses for it. All right. Listen, I hope that this has been helpful for you tonight. If you have questions, I'm going to stay on just a few more minutes. I will tell you, this thing's starting to get back in my chest. So if you're not subscribed, do your boy a favor. Hit that subscribe button. You know what I mean? If you don't have any questions that you want to ask right now that you think I can answer, listen, I am very, very accessible on this channel. So you can leave, you could leave them, when the stream is over, you can leave them. I'll get a notification and I'll get to them as soon as possible. Excellent says it's been mad helpful. That's what I like to hear, man. That's what I like to hear. So I hope that, yeah, I need, man, this thing. I was about to play this gig on Saturday night, and I could feel it. I was sitting in my car. I loaded up my gear in. I was set up and ready to go, and I could feel it. Before we played one note, I was like, God dog it, I'm getting sick. But we just had Mardi Gras here in New Orleans, and I was out on my bicycle, man, and when I was out there, running into people, shaking hands, I said, shit, I ain't got no hand sanitizer. So I probably picked up something at Mardi Gras, from Shia LaBeouf. Not from Shia, but yeah, man, I gotta take care of this. I love y'all, man. I appreciate you. Like, for real, I appreciate all the old bass heads, Wayne, Fleece, Tiny, Baseline Project, Jade, Fantasy is Real. I mean, man, like, I really appreciate you guys. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about the channel. You know what I mean? Yeah, go to my page. If you look up compressor, I got a video on the compressor, and I have a detailed video on the envelope filter as well. Both using the MXR. And once you get these, once you kind of, yep, I sure do. From January 2 years ago. My friend, what's good? Welcome to another video. If we haven't met yet, my name is God, this is old. Before we get into this video, check it. A lot of my views are coming from non-subscribers. I appreciate. Wait a minute, that's old. That's hella old. Hold on a second, man. I can tell these videos are old because my beard is not as white. My friend, what's good? Welcome to another video. If we haven't met yet, my name is Ted, and I talk bass. And I got on an old pair of glasses. Turn the dry all the way down. Yeah, so you guys could check this. You can check this out on the channel. That is the Mike Lowe. It was obviously some different decor up in this joint too. So anyway, I'm going to get me some rest, friends. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to get me some dinner and some tea. God damn it. Let me know if you have any questions. It ain't rocket science, y'all. It's pocket science. I'm going to catch you in the next one.